Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to divide an image using Affinity so that you can make bigger images with a printer that only prints 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your canvas here. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this, and then this is a lot bigger than my page, so I'm going to size it down here just a little bit so that we can see what we're working with. So first we're going to grab the vector crop tool here and go in on the sides here so that way we can kind of get a better idea of how big our image is, or how big it's going to be whenever we size it correctly. So get as close as we can to the edges without touching the design. So once you have that, go ahead and click back on your pointer, and then we're going to use the tool down here to size the image how big we want it. This particular one, I want it a little bit big, so we're going to go in at 12 inches. And make sure you turn the lock on before you change anything down here, otherwise the image will get distorted. So once you have it how big you want it, you're going to duplicate this layer. So over here on the side here, just click it and then click duplicate. So we should have 2 layers of the same image. And it helps if you name the image, that way you can keep track of what's what here, because we're going to add a couple more things to this so that we can divide it into 2 separate pieces. So once you have them named, go over here to the shape tool and we're going to select a square and just make any kind of square. And let's put this up here at the top. Okay, so click on your pointer and then we're going to size this the same size as the paper that we're doing. So if you were doing 8.5 by 14, you would make this 8.5 by 14, but this is 8.5 by 11, so we're going to put that in here. And then it should be the same size as your canvas. And make sure you've got snapping on, so that way we can center it directly over our canvas. So we're going to duplicate this layer as well. So you should have 2 of the same images and 2 rectangles. And we're going to go ahead and name these as well. I'm just going to name this rectangle 1. And then we're naming the other one rectangle 2. And then it helps me at least, if I change the colors on these a little bit. So you can really pick any color you want. And then lower the opacity a little bit so that you can see through it. This will help you be able to see what's happening behind it. So you can do the same color, or you can do 2 different colors if you want. It's really up to you. And then just make sure you lower the opacity. So let's go ahead and hide rectangle 2, and then we're going to center this, or not center it, we're going to move this over to the side a little bit. And you can move it further over if you want, but as long as it's on one side. And this is just the first rectangle that we're going to do. So this is going to be the first page that prints out. And then make sure that you have a snapping on and you center it horizontally on the page. So then you're going to take rectangle 1 and you're going to drag it and combine it with your image 1. And then put the opacity back all the way, and that's all you have to do on that one. So then let's turn rectangle 2 back on, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to line this up the opposite direction. Make sure it's centered horizontally. You see, when you piece them together, you want them to overlap slightly, because your printer's not going to print all the way to the edge anyways. And then this will give you some room in case, when you cut it, it gives you some leeway. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to click this and drag it to image 2, and then move the opacity back all the way up to the top. Now you have 2 different images that will piece together to make one bigger image. So when you're printing this, you're going to print one at a time. So you're going to move one off of the page. You're going to center this exactly in the center horizontally, and then you're going to click print and do that one. Then you're going to move it, and then you're going to bring the other one over, make sure it's centered horizontally, and then print it as well. So then that way you'll have 2 separate pieces, and then you'll just have to tape them, cut them and tape them together, and they should line up perfectly. If you tried this out and it works for you, give me a like and thumbs up, comment and let me know. If it doesn't work for you, let me know as well.